Welcome to our True Crime channel. In today's episode, we take a deep dive into the chilling case of the West End serial killer, a figure who left fear and confusion, shook an entire community, and many questions remain unanswered. Today, we bring you the terrifying story of a serial killer who walked among ordinary people, hiding in plain sight. His crimes were brutal, his victims innocent, and for years, no one knew who he really was. In this episode, we uncover the dark truth behind one of the most disturbing cases to ever shake South Africa. This is True Crime, where we tell the stories that can't be forgotten. Martha was simply out doing some Christmas shopping at a Lenasia mall. Nothing unusual, just a regular day. But as she stepped out of the store, a man she had never seen before stopped her. He looked like any other stranger, yet he spoke as if he knew her life inside out. He told her she was having problems with her partner and that she had a serious issue with her womb. She was stunned. Everything he said was true. The man told her he could help. He claimed to be a prophet and wore a ZCC badge, which made him seem even more credible. He explained that he needed to buy special tea leaves and other items to make a healing mixture. Wanting to be healed and moved by his confidence, Martha gave him 150 Rand to get the ingredients. He then walked her to her home and said he'd return the next day to begin the healing process. The Zion Christian Church, widely known as the ZCC, is one of the largest and most influential African-initiated churches in Southern Africa. It promotes a strict moral code, unity, faith healing, and traditional African values blended with Christian teachings. Due to its size, structure, and spiritual authority, the church often plays a significant social and cultural role in the communities where it operates. The very next day, the so-called priest showed up at her workplace, just like he had promised. She believed he had special powers to heal her, so she invited him into her room, after asking her roommates to give them some privacy. Once inside, he brewed her a special tea, claiming it would cleanse her from the evil spirits causing her pain. She trusted him so much that when he asked for more money, she gave him 400 Rand in cash. After drinking the tea, she started feeling strange, dizzy and out of it. He told her that it was the spirits reacting to the powerful brew and that they needed to leave the room before the spirits could hide and return. Desperate to be healed, she followed him to a nearby bush. What happened next was even more horrifying. He told her the only way to remove the evil spirit was through sex. Confused and dizzy, she agreed. She believed she was being healed, but what really happened was rape, disguised as a ritual. While it was happening, she couldn't feel anything due to the effects of the tea, but she saw everything. She prayed for Jesus to save her, realizing too late that this healer was no man of God. After the so-called priest had finished what he called the ritual, he simply left her there, alone in the bushes. Disoriented and weak, she managed to make her way back home. But something wasn't right. For the rest of the day, she was acting strangely, so much so that her coworker became seriously concerned. There, things took a disturbing turn. He told her to undress from the waist down and lie on her back. He then rubbed some leaves on her private area, claiming it was part of the healing process. But what happened next would blur the line between faith, manipulation, and pure deception. Sarah was standing next to the road when a man driving a cream-white Volkswagen Golf offered her a lift. When she saw that her neighbor was also a passenger in the car, she got in without hesitation. She was traveling from Venerspoos to Weston area. Inside the car, Sarah noticed that the driver was wearing a ZCC badge and Sangoma beads, which she found unusual. After dropping off her neighbor and her neighbor's 2 children at their home, the driver continued towards Weston area, with Sarah still in the car. After her neighbor got out, Sarah moved from the back seat to the front passenger seat. While driving, the man told Sarah that he was a prophet and a traditional healer. He claimed he could see her future and said she was meant to marry a rich man, but that something spiritual was blocking her blessings. He said she needed cleansing and offered to bathe her with a tea mixture to remove bad things. Sarah refused. The man then drank something Sarah believed was alcohol and suddenly turned off the main road. She realized they were no longer going to town. He drove at high speed to a deserted area near the municipal sewage plant. He stopped the car, got out, ran to Sarah's side, and dragged her out of the vehicle. Sarah tried to fight back and managed to tear off his beaded necklace, but he struck her with a stone or brick, assaulted her, and strangled her until she lost consciousness. He then left her there unconscious. That evening, when Sarah did not return home, a neighbor who had last seen her became worried and went to Sarah's family. She explained what she knew, and together they reported Sarah missing at the police station. The neighbor told the police that earlier that day she had accepted a paid lift from a man driving a cream-white Volkswagen Golf. Later, the same man picked up Sarah, who was her neighbor. The neighbor also explained that before Sarah got into the car, she had a strange encounter with the driver. The man said he was a ZCC prophet and a traditional healer. He was wearing a ZCC badge and spoke about dark spiritual matters. He claimed that he could see problems coming between her and her husband. She told him she was a Christian and did not believe in such things, and she refused his help. After this, the man tried to drive onto a deserted road near the Venerspoos golf course, but quickly turned back when he noticed traffic police nearby. He then told her that her strong faith had protected her because she believed only in God and did not follow prophets or occult practices. Sarah woke up almost a day later. She was alone, badly injured, and naked. Her pants, underwear, and cell phone were missing. She used her jersey to cover herself and slowly made her way to a nearby sewage plant, where a worker helped her and called an ambulance. At the hospital, doctors told her that she had been raped and sodomized. Her head and face were badly injured and disfigured. She had to stay in hospital for a long time, could not speak for some time, and later had to undergo facial reconstruction surgery. Captain and constable at Weston Area Police were already investigating a series of strange and disturbing incidents when a new report was received, this time from a woman known as Sarah. Sarah provided the captain with crucial details about the man who had molested her. She carefully described his appearance, the car he drove, and noted that he wore both a ZCC badge and traditional beads. When the captain shared this information with the constable, the description immediately stood out. The constable recalled investigating a previous case involving a man who matched the same profile, once again wearing a ZCC badge and traditional beads. What made the connection even more compelling was the vehicle Sarah described. It was identical to one the constable had seen before, a cream-white Volkswagen Golf sedan. The constable remembered seeing the car parked outside the Weston Area Magistrates Court in January 2009, following one of the suspect's court appearances. On that occasion, the suspect had confidently called her over, boasting about his success and proudly showing off his new car, which he referred to as his pride and joy. The suspect was later identified. placed him under arrest. During the search, police discovered several disturbing items. These included a cell phone, multicolored traditional beads, pieces of twine, women's clothing, and 45 pairs of women's underwear. Jack was informed of why he was being arrested and was read his constitutional rights. 2 days later, on the 29th of March 2009, Martha attended an identification parade. Without hesitation, she pointed out Jack as the man who had molested her. The investigating officer later discovered that there were similar cases linked to the same suspect between 2008 and 2009. One of those cases dates back to 17 March 2008. On that day, Anna and a friend attended a fraud trial at the Weston Area Magistrates Court. When the case was postponed, the two boarded a train heading towards Soweto via Lenasia. The accused, Jack, got onto the very same train and sat in the same coach as Anna, her friend, and other passengers. During the journey, Anna told her friend that she planned to get off earlier than usual at Waterworks Station. Her friend was uneasy and tried to stop her, saying she didn't feel comfortable with the idea. But Anna insisted, explaining that she wanted to do some shopping in Lenasia. When the train stopped at Waterworks, Anna stepped off. Jack followed her off the train. That evening, when Anna failed to return home, her worried family confronted her friend. She told them the last time she saw Anna was at Waterworks Station, when she got off the train with Jack. The family then confronted Jack and demanded to know where Anna was. He denied any involvement and claimed that after leaving the station, Anna walked toward Lenasia while he went in the opposite direction. Jack was arrested on a charge of kidnapping. However, the prosecutor later withdrew the charges due to a lack of evidence, and the investigation continued. On the 19th of January 2009, a woman named Lydia went missing during her lunch break at work. Days later, on the 26th of January 2009, her body was found. She had a ligature tied around her neck, showing she had been strangled, and it was later confirmed that she had also been raped. According to a colleague, she and Lydia worked for a doctor's office, handing out advertising pamphlets. That day, they were working on different sides of a public parking lot at a shopping complex in Lenasia. Around lunchtime, Lydia walked toward her colleague, who was standing near the doctor's surgery. Lydia was with a man. Lydia told her colleague that she was leaving with this man to go to a church where a bishop was going to pray for her so she could be healed from an illness. She promised she would return by 2 p.m. Before leaving, Lydia went inside their workplace to leave her bag and cell phone, while the man waited for her outside. During that time, the colleague briefly spoke to the man. She later explained that the man began prophesying about her family problems. She stopped him and told him that, as a committed Christian, she did not believe in such practices. Lydia never returned at 2 p.m. Later that afternoon, the colleague saw the same man in the area and confronted him, asking where Lydia was. He claimed that he had not left with Lydia, saying he only walked her to a car that was supposed to take her to the church. When it became clear that Lydia was nowhere to be found, the colleague went to inform Lydia's husband about everything that had happened. Miriam, who worked as a sex worker, reported her colleague missing after the woman left with a client and never returned. On 22nd January 2009, a man stopped near Miriam at a garage area, driving a cream-white Volkswagen Golf. He offered to take her to his home in Zurbacum for business, but she declined. At the man's request, Miriam called her colleague over. The two women spoke briefly, and afterward, her colleague agreed to leave with the man. 2 days later, a police captain arrived at Miriam's workplace with troubling news. He explained that the body of an unidentified black woman had been found in the area. When he described the clothing the woman was wearing, Miriam immediately realized that it was her missing colleague. On the 27th of January 2009, the body of an adult woman was discovered in Mosquito Valley, Lenasia. She had been strangled, and the ligature, a piece of blue fabric, was still tightly wrapped around her neck. Investigators also confirmed that she had been raped. Earlier that same month, a man named James visited his niece at her home after she asked him to come because she was ill. When he arrived, he noticed a strange man leaving the house, wearing a ZCC badge on his chest. The man walked toward the backyard as James entered through the front door. Suspicious, James went to check the back of the yard. He quickly realized there was no gate or exit at the back. The only explanation was that the man must have jumped over the fence. Later that month, James's niece went missing. On 17th of February 2009, James was called to the government mortuary, where he tragically identified his niece's body. Just days later, around 22nd February 2009, another woman, Sam, went missing after leaving home to attend a funeral in Carltonville. Nearly a month later, on 1st March 2009, her body was found. Like the others, she had been strangled with a ligature and raped. By this time, investigators realized they were dealing with a pattern. Between September 2008 and March 2009, the bodies of multiple adult women were found across Lenasia, Anchorville, Avalon, and Weston area. Many victims were unknown, but the similarities were chilling. Between 5 and 10 October 2008, adult women were found murdered near Anchorville, Lenasia. Around September 2008, an unidentified woman was raped and murdered near Mosquito Valley. Between November and December 2008, the body of an unknown woman was found near West End Brick and Clay in Weston area. Around 6 December 2008, two unidentified women were found murdered in the same West End Brick and Clay area. In December 2008, another unknown woman was kidnapped, raped, and murdered near Avalon, Lenasia Extension. In January 2009, an adult woman was raped and murdered near Mosquito Valley, and in another case near Anchorville, an adult woman and a small child were murdered. Between February and March 2009, more adult women were raped and murdered near Anchorville, Lenasia, and near West End Brick and Clay, Weston area. Each crime shared disturbing similarities: rape, strangulation, and ligatures, pointing investigators toward a serial offender operation in almost the same area. As the bodies continued to surface across Lenasia, Anchorville, Avalon, and Weston area, investigators began to realize they were dealing with one serial offender. Because many of the murders occurred at or near the West End Brick and Clay factory, close to waterworks in Weston area, police gave the unknown suspect a name. They called him the West End Killer. At the time, investigators did not yet know who he was. The name was used to identify the growing number of linked cases, while police worked behind the scenes to connect the dots. Detectives began centralizing case dockets from different police stations, each one involving women who had been raped and strangled, often with ligatures, and whose bodies were dumped in similar areas. The nickname helped police track the pattern: a predator operating south of Johannesburg, moving between train routes, shopping areas, and industrial zones, especially around West End Brick and Clay, an area disturbingly close to where the killer himself lived. By early 2009, the evidence was clear. The West End Killer was responsible for multiple murders, spanning months and several communities. What remained was the most critical question of all: who is he? By the time police finally identified the suspect, one thing was clear: this was not his first time in court. At 42 years old, the accused had already spent much of his adult life moving in and out of prison. His criminal journey began when he was just 21 years old. In 1996, he was convicted of rape and sentenced to 10 years behind bars. But prison didn't change him. When he was released, he didn't rebuild his life or try to start over. Instead, he returned to crime. And this time, his actions became even more violent. What began as rape escalated into serial sexual attacks and murder. As investigators dug deeper, They uncovered a long list of previous convictions. This wasn't a man who made one mistake. This was a pattern. Housebreaking, theft, trespassing, fraud, and multiple rape convictions. Time after time he was punished, and time after time he went right back to offending. He was born in April 1967, making him 41 to 42 years old during the period when the West End killer was active. He was unmarried but claimed to have 2 children, aged 12 and 16, with different mothers. He had attended school up to grade 12, but never finished. At the time of the crimes, he was unemployed. He told the court that after his girlfriend bought a Volkswagen Golf, he used it as an informal taxi to survive. The same car witnesses repeatedly described in connection with the murders. The court heard about his past in detail, a rape conviction in 1988, resulting in 7 years in prison. 2 convictions for housebreaking and theft in 1995. A conviction for trespassing, also in 1995. Another rape conviction in 1996, with a 10-year sentence. And later in 2010, 12 counts of fraud. Each conviction told the same story. Prison did not stop him. In the end, justice finally caught up with him. He was found guilty of some of the most horrifying crimes imaginable. His reign of terror included 16 brutal murders, 15 rapes, multiple kidnappings, and several other serious offenses. Crimes that shocked the nation. On the 17th of March 2011, the court delivered one of the harshest sentences in South African legal history. He was sentenced to 16 life imprisonment terms for murder. In addition, the court imposed life sentences for 4 rape convictions, while the remaining 15 rape charges each carried 20-year prison terms. Further sentences were added for kidnapping, theft, assault, and fraud, adding decades more to his punishment. When everything was added together, the final sentence was clear and unmistakable. 16 life sentences, plus an additional 23 years behind bars. It sent a powerful message. Extreme violence and cruelty will not be tolerated. This case stands as one of the most chilling reminders that evil can hide in plain sight. But it also proves that justice, even when delayed, is relentless. Thank you for joining us as we examine this disturbing case. Stories like these remind us of the importance of justice, the strength of victims, and the unwavering dedication of investigators who work tirelessly to bring the truth into the light. We cover real crimes, real people, and the pursuit of truth, one case at a time. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and keep seeking justice.